Hey, Zach here from digitalconstructive.com, and in this video we're going to be talking about the carpentry license, also known as the C-5 license or the rough carpentry and framing contractor license. So as defined by the CSLB, which is the Contractor State License Board, a framing and rough carpentry contractor performs any formwork, framing, or rough carpentry necessary to construct frame structures, installs or repairs individual components of framing systems, and performs any rough carpentry or associated work, including but not limited to the construction or installation of subflooring, siding, exterior staircases and railings, overhead doors, roof decking, truss members, and sheathing. So the C-5 license is pretty much required for anybody that's looking to bid over $500 for a carpentry or framing project. So if labor and materials is over $500, you got to have a C-5 license. Now, how long does it take to get the carpentry license? It takes about 90 days. Now, there's a variety of factors that could make this process take a lot longer than 90 days, and I've seen in a lot of cases it take less than 90 days, but on average, you're looking at about a 90-day process. So depending on time of year that you submit your application, generally around the holidays, application processing slows down, so that could add time to the process. Whether you have a criminal history or whether your application is put under further review, those are all factors that can make the 90-day process take a little bit longer. But generally, you're looking at about a 6 to 8 week application processing time, and then another 3 to 4 weeks after that before you actually go and take your test. So what are the basic requirements to get a contractor license, specifically the C-5 license? You've got to be at least 18 years of age. You've got to have a driver's license or USA ID. You've got to have a Social Security or ITIN number. You can't currently be on probation or parole. And the experience requirements that you have to have are that you have to have 4 years full-time journey level experience that has to be within the last 10 years. And journey level experience essentially means that you can perform all the trades associated with carpentry and framing, and you've done them unsupervised, and you have somebody who can sign off for that, somebody who can vouch for you. And you've got to be able to document your experience if the state board asks you to submit documentation. So who can sign off on your experience? A general contractor, a C-5 license holder, a foreman or supervisor, a fellow journeyman, or a business associate. These are all people who can sign off on your application verifying that you have 4 years journeyman level experience. Now, proving your experience. If you're one of the people that the state board asks to prove experience, so, the CSLB, they get thousands of applications. Some people have to do a formal review, some people don't. But if you're one of these people, then they give you a variety of different ways that you can prove your experience. You can use tax returns, you can use check stubs, you can use invoices, receipts, and even contracts. Now, your criminal history. Now, you can absolutely get a contractor license with a criminal history. So having a criminal record does not disqualify you from getting a contractor license. You have to do fingerprinting. So when you're filling out the application, they're going to ask you, have you been convicted of a felony or misdemeanor? You're going to want to be 100% honest when you're filling out the application. Because if you check no and then you do fingerprinting and it finds out that you do have a criminal record, it's not going to look good for you in the application process. So be 100% upfront and honest from the get-go. Typically, the CSLB is looking for charges associated with fraud, forgery, or embezzlement. So white-collar crimes associated with stealing money are huge red flags for the CSLB. So as long as your crime doesn't really fall under that, you shouldn't really have a problem. But you're definitely going to want to submit any court documents that they ask for, have everything ready so that you can make this process go very smoothly. Now, what is on the carpentry license test? It's going to be 2 parts. There's 115 questions on law. There's going to be 115 questions on framing and carpentry. You'll have 3 hours to complete each portion. It's a multiple choice test taken on a computer, and you'll take it on site at a CSLB testing facility. Now, the C-5 portion of the exam, that's the framing and carpentry portion of the exam, is broken up into 4 parts. There's going to be planning and estimation, which represents about 27% of the test. There's going to be structural framing, which represents about 36% of the test. There's going to be general framing, which represents 21% of the test, and safety, which represents 18% of the test. Now, the costs associated with getting a license. There is an application fee. So when you fill out your application, you've got to submit a check or money order for the fee to the Contractors State License Board. You've got to pay a license activation fee after you pass the exam, and this is going to be due every 2 years. You've got to pay for fingerprinting, and you've got to provide a contractor bond number. So a contractor bond has a fee. I have a separate video on what exactly is a contractor bond, but for the sake of this video, just understand that what you pay for a bond depends on what company you go with. So after you pass the test, you'll get your results immediately. It's taken on a computer, so you'll know whether you pass or fail right there on the spot. You can take a retake. It's $60 per retake. Usually you take a retake within 3 weeks. And you pay your license activation and provide your bond number right then. And then normally you get your contractor license card, your actual license number, in the mail within maybe 2 to 3 weeks. So getting a contractor license, specifically getting the carpentry license, is a very smooth process if you have the correct information. If you fill out your application correctly, you study the right material, you know everything that the state is going to expect of you in terms of filling out the application, describing your experience. If you know everything and you have everything ready and you know what you're going into before going into it, then it should be a very smooth process. Just want to thank you for watching. Again, my name is Zach from digitalconstructive.com. We've got a ton of videos on pretty much every license that's offered in California, as well as a bunch of other topics. So if there's something that you want to see us make a video on, drop it in the comments. Give us a like, subscribe to our channel. As I said, we're dropping a lot of new content and a lot of new videos over the next couple months. So we'd love to hear from you. Again, my name is Zach from digitalconstructive.com, and thanks again for watching.